Evening, people, and hi YouTube world. Playing some Black Green Evo. Uh, Basically, just nicked someone else's list again. This is it. It's on Stream Deco and MTGO Fish and such. But yeah, let's see how this goes. It looks cool. I don't know all the little combos, so hopefully I don't get stung too much. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Just posting on Discord and right. So yeah, so like there's plenty of little tricks with this card, and you know, like that's obvious, right? So two undying creatures and a Thran is combo, but like where does this come in? Is it just a value card? Where does this come in? So is that, I guess that's when you have these two and you don't have the messenger. So yeah, like there's quite a few different things going on. I say still a deck list. I tweaked a little because I didn't have the budget for every card. This looks okay, I think. I don't know how good the plan of just like beating people up is in this deck. I don't know if you need to try and combo every game or if you can just get away with like mediocre beats. But like this, obviously this doesn't curve particularly nicely, and Yawgmoth is dead against a lot of different strategies, but hopefully the rest of it's, you know, like if there's Storm, this is just like a nothing card. There's a Goblin Guide I can just block though, so that's good. Yay, we can just block. Although maybe we're not meant to, because you might need it later. Let's see what's on top. Bird on top. I want to block and get myself a bigger young wolf and keep that on defense, and then play bird, play tomb. I'm gonna keep this back. The plan is block, trade, and then I could go get Finks off of this bird with the Evo, if we wanted to. We should probably do want to. Just to get to your own turn 2 without losing life is a nice thing against burn. Let's see where we go. I really enjoy these kind of decks, just having like Evo and card and all these tools. This gives you a ton of options. And I like that this, because I think the original list had Evo and Neoform, and Neoform was basically the only blue card, and it just seems to make a lot of sense to clean up the mana base. It probably wants a couple of Field of Ruin, to be honest. That would be pretty nice in here. Yeah, that would have been a nice addition, because I imagine this is pretty garbage against Tron. You got like Damping Sphere and that's about it. So we drew a card off of that. I'm going to just block. Biggest thing that could go wrong here is if they like land Searing Blaze. There's the worst situation. Pretty comfortable with most of the things. Yeah. So obviously they have that. I'm not sure this card is particularly necessary in this deck either. It fixes Yawgmoth Messenger, I guess, in what is mostly a green deck. Ooh. And we're flooding out now, so maybe the blocks were bad. Obviously, if we hadn't blocked, we could have evoed for Finks. Can always card up a 1-drop next turn, which is pretty rubbish, but needs must. So, right, go off Messenger. That's okay actually. We'll just play that next turn. We really need the opponent to miss their third land. That's where we will have an advantage if that happens. The problem is the messenger's not a great blocker, but it potentially can mace them, to be honest. Yeah, and it pods into evos into Thragtusk as well. So that's if they have a tap out so that they don't have Skull Crack up, we'll just win off of a Thragtusk. So we'll play this and hope that we get another turn, which we should. But opponent really struggling to figure out where to put his bolts. Always disappointing when the burn play is this slow. I mean, you know, he just took a minute to play a land. And Adelan's pretty bad for us, actually. But I don't think it changes anything, unfortunately. So out comes the messenger. We take 2, so go to 13, and this is tapped, so we're down to 9. And then if they just have 3 bolts, we're dead. And even if they have 2, actually, we're down to 3, and that makes Evo pretty dodgy. Okay, it's not a bolt. So what would like Boris Charm do here? It would do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'd go to 3. So we could beat Boris Charm. Come on, opponent. Show me the last... Yeah, so 3 bolts. Great. I don't care that you have Rift Bolt. Not tilting, but like, it's just frustrating against someone so slow. Right, I like those. City Slime's pretty... it could be okay sometimes, but it's pretty slow, so it probably won't make the cut. And it might be a matchup where you don't need all of the combo cards. Yeah, that's probably true. Like this is not a good blocker, and this is not brilliant because it costs life to use its ability. That's pretty slow. So let's see what that looks like. Looks pretty good to me. Shimmer card. There's nothing good to card for before X3 really, so we've brought in our removal, we've brought in our life gain, we should be pretty good. But decay is pretty passable as well actually. Let's try that. You have to have some 3 drops so that you can Evo up with Thragtusk. Wow, that hand's so close, so unlucky. But it's a mulligan. I think this might be as well. I'm going to keep, just hope to draw lands. It's probably too greedy, but we will see. If we draw exactly land next turn and the bird doesn't die in those 2 situations, I think we're pretty good. Come on. So now it feels like this is going to die. Hi Ivalan, how are you, mate? Pretty sure losing this match. Game, match 1 of the day. Ooh, path, thank you, opponent. I will take... There's too many things I care about the black mana for right now, so take basic forest. That path's actually really good for us. I'm such a mediocre creature as well, I'm pretty surprised about that. Soon Blaze comes down now. Have to play Scoos and they probably have to eat it. Bolt it. So yeah, yeah, let's just see which removal spell they use. We don't actually draw a land yet this game, so we're due a land. This is pretty good though, right? So we've not taken too much damage, so let's keep going, I guess. We've missed our third land, we've missed our second. With ball. Okay. Land. Come on. Yes, that'll do. We'll swing with this first. Do 1 hull damage. And then evo it into a kitchen finks. I'm pretty sure we win the long game. Like, you don't want to give him too many draws, but as long as we don't die, we've got a good chance of like evoing our way out of this. Vexage was just here for Eidolon, and they obviously haven't got that because they did play it last turn. But yeah, Kitchen Finks is pretty good here. Honestly, it's an argument for Messenger because they're not very aggressive at the minute, and I think they probably have another path. Just the way that their hand's played out, the fact that they don't have a third land in hand. They've got five spells. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully, obviously evoing in the Finks gets us another 2 life, and then Thagtos will get us another 5, but I only really want to do that if they tap low or tap out. If they leave 2 mana open, I don't really want to be opening myself up to Skullcrack. Okay, well, we are weak to Skullcrack, and oh, this is awkward. We are weak to Skullcrack, but I think we have to go for it, and probably just like, if they respond to this persist trigger with a Skullcrack, we'll just have to get Acidic Slime and blow up a land and hope that that's enough. But we'll be down to 5 with them having 3 cards in hand, and we know that none of those 3 are lands, so there's a really good chance that they can make 6 damage with 2 mana. Yeah, here's the Skullcrack. I feel a bit unlucky this game, honestly. Like, I had 2 cards in hand actually, not 3. Oh, I bodied out the Acidic Slime. It's even worse. Even worse. Eek. Take the Scoos because if we do live, it's probably the easiest way to have an advantage here. So they got two drops and they rip the land. Ow. Yeah, they're 2/2 drops and ripped to the land at the end. We only drew 1 land in 6 turns, which is not ideal. Wish we could draw that next card, but we can't. Their hand lined up really well against ours, and we were pretty unlucky with the way that we didn't draw any lands. It was a greedy keep, but we didn't draw lands. They pathed us into one of them, and we drew 1 more in 6 turns. and they ripped when they needed it. Although it's worth knowing that had they drawn a 1-drop bolt, that would have also been lethal. So they had a lot of outs. The stuff that wasn't outs were more 2-drops, more paths, more... And any of the creatures, they were not outs. But like a good half of their deck was probably an out there. Okay, well, I'm not keeping a 1-lander with no mana dock on the draw. But I will keep that. And took... It's between... That's turn 1, that's turn 2. I took the swamp. It means I can't cast Garth Messenger if I draw it. I imagine we're pretty good against most Inquisition decks because all our creatures are pretty sticky. This is a card I probably don't want in hand against this. Garth Messenger, obviously. Of course, that's the next card. Be kind of an interesting spot next turn where, unless I... Yeah, so the situation here is, if I play Clanny Garden and then rip a Black Source, I can't play this. Whereas if I play this, with the 3-drop, I can't play the 3-drop. So what's more likely to happen? Well, there's only those 3-drops that I could play, that I would fail to play. The Black Sources are plenty, so it's correct to play the Twilight Mire. So the theory being, I'm much more likely to draw a Black Source than I am a 3-drop, because these 3-drops are uncastable, and I have 5 more. So I have 5 of them, and then I have X amount of them. It's only like 1, 2, 3 of those. And I got like 20 outs here. Okay, well that's not terrible. This is what I was saying about probably being pretty favoured against Inquisition decks, because our creatures are pretty sticky. Obviously you sack them, they come back, they get bigger. Okay, well there's the kick in the teeth, but oh well. Clanny Garden's good against Liliana, so my guess is that they played the Liliana because maybe they have another. Or maybe they just got a handful of green cards that they can't cast, but mostly they play just trying to whittle away at my creatures, ready for like, yeah, I think they're just Jund. And there's the Black Source to make life even more awkward. But anyway, that works fine. I'm just going to board like they are Jund, which is those cards. And I think I just cut these, and maybe all 4 of these. Spellbomb's okay, it's a redraw, shrinks Garth, messes with K command a little bit. I mean, it's pretty average, but it's, you know, it doesn't get tagged by push or bolt, and it draws you a card, so it's probably better than the birds. And the wall's probably better than the birds because it dodges bolt a little bit and works with the cards that you're keeping in. And the Evos are coming out because they're not card advantage, pretty much. And this is okay. And that felt pretty smooth. I felt like the obvious cards to cut are Evos and birds, and I had exactly the amount of cards I needed to bring in, so that's like the guy who built it well, or at least with this matchup in mind. I just keep this like, it's pretty loose, it's not exactly a fast hand, but it's not too many hands from the opponent that I'm scared of that are fast. Like, I don't particularly love turn 2 Bob against this exact hand, but other than that, it's worth keeping. And it's what I always say about Jund, but if you mull to like a good 6 and they just take the best card in that hand with a discard spell, you feel pretty rubbish straight away. Well, I was going to fetch for one of these, but I'm just going to play this tapped. I don't mind hitting land drops, and Twilight Mire lets me cast the messengers next turn. Wow. I think they've done that because... Wow, I can't work that one out. I think probably they have... That's awkward. Probably they have Liliana again, and they want less bodies on the board for if they draw that land. But going like go off messenger plus tap land, just going to mess with Lilianas if they ever get to them. I don't think they will. I think they'll scoop to this potentially. This is pretty aggressive now, so they're down to 12. If they Lily, this dies. Okay, so maybe they're not down to 12. Yes, I would like to search for a land. Might as well be... Oh, let's not auto-yield. So they are down to 12, but not in the way that I expected them to be. I think this is combo next turn, actually. I mean, they were just so far behind because they missed land drops, but you could play this, sack this, make this smaller, infinite drain. So opponent didn't draw particularly well there in their defence. I recognise the name though, so I think it might be a bit of a grinder. Might be wrong. Well, they've got no trophies, so it doesn't really mean anything. It could just be on having a bad day out. Anyway, on we go. A cool youth pastor. Do not recognise the name. The problem with this deck is that it isn't actually that quick. So like, this hand looks slow, but I think most of our hands are pretty slow. Though you're probably looking for any hand that's got those in it rather than that as your 1 or 2 drop. Just curve slightly higher to be on the draw. It makes the land drops, it can cast all its spells. I'm going to keep it. It's pretty questionable because this isn't really a 2 drop, is it? It doesn't do anything, it's just a vanilla 2/2. Whereas all these at least have some text at that point in the game. They're down to 5, so straight away my mind's going, are they Dredge or are they Neoform? Or are they unlucky? Hopefully the latter. But if they Dredge, then the Scavenging Ooze is good. And probably good enough if they're down to 5. So yeah, they've bought on 2, kept 5. And they're Tron. So this hand is dreadful against Tron, and I think the deck in general is pretty dreadful against Tron. I'm going to be boarding in 3 Damping Spheres, and maybe these. Well, yeah, probably these. But I'm ready for game 2. Yeah, so they multi 5, have Tron on turn 3. Ugh. And I make a Scavenging Ooze. Small part of me thinks this might not be good enough. If we like turn 3 Messenger, turn 4... Might not have any payoffs, they did have to go low. And you keep the 5 cards that make Tron probably, so... Ballista, Wormcoil. Okay, Wormcoil's kind of beatable. Only kind of, but... Get a Messenger. And technically next turn we can turn Scavenging Ooze into a Yawgmoth, which would make us just 1 card shy. We can evo this into Acidic Slime and take out a mine or power plant as well. Stone. Okay. It's not great. If we evo this, blow up this, they would have they could float and put this on there, and then they'd have 3-4 lands. Okay. Might be the line. I mean, the first thing to do is just to swing for 5 and see what happens. The second thing is, do I want to play Wall of Roots first? Probably not, no. So then we either this guy, drain you, acidic slime, the power plant, since they set that copy up. And now it's like, do you want to put a fake counter on, or do you want to pop it? They want to put a fake counter on. Okay. So that means they get to keep their worm coil when they do crack this, but they can't crack it this turn unless they rip a power plant, so it's a good chance that we're not dead. They can't really attack into the Death Touch acidic slime. And just trying to look and see if there's any outs like this turn exactly. I don't think there is, unfortunately. This is power plant I can't get rid of, and I guess Yawgmoth plus Evo does the job, so I guess Stranglegeist or Yawgmoth are probably outs here. That's not. So what if I was to pay on the second of the creature, put my source, draw a card. I can't think this through very well. So if I was to sack this, get the dude, and then it tries and blows up the board, I can sack this, shrink this, draw a card, shrink this. This will then, everything will die, and then this will come back, drain them. I just can't win that race, can I? I kind of think I have to Evo this though, because if I don't, I could just sit behind that card forever. So actually, I could try and combo here. So pay a life, sack another creature. So target that, sack this. Now I have to draw not a land. Pay 1 life, sack another creature. Put a -1/-1 counter on there. So what I'm trying to do here is draw into an undying creature to get this going. Oh, you just flooded out. So we still have Undying Wolf as an out. So if I float there, pay a life, shrink that, sack this. And then pay a life, shrink this, sack this. Yawgmoth, come on. One time. We didn't have it. We didn't have it. Let's card away. They scooped way too early. Yeah, lols. But I don't know how we got away with that. That's ridiculous. Anyhow, I like those cards. Don't like that. Don't particularly care for Finks or Thragtusk. And just like mono combo cards. Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous, wasn't it? He didn't have enough cards to cut. I'm going to cut a Kalani Garden. I think 24 lands is pretty heavy. This looks okay. That was just so lucky. We were kind of unlucky though, right? We drew so many lands whilst trying to find a combo. That's what I was saying before, that I wasn't really sure about the lines, and I don't really know how I ended up finding that one, because I'm not great at finding those kind of things. Yeah, play is still good, it's just I didn't have anything I wanted to cut, I just wanted the combo to be as clean as possible. I think it's okay. It's a whole lot better when you, like Oblivion Stone's the card that we care about, especially if we manage to get them off of Tron with the acidic slime, for example. But also, it's much better on the play with a bird. So like I'm used to playing all these Evo decks when they've got like 6, 7, 8 1-drops. This doesn't. It just has the 4 birds as mana. So maybe it isn't good enough. Manglethorn I've bought in because it stops these cycling, as well as those stone activation, and as well as what else does it do? As well as being a disenchant, and as well as, so yeah, O-Stone, the 8 stars. That's about it really. Stops a Wormcoil from blocking, if you want to call that a thing. Okay. What have you got? Wormcoil again. That's beatable. Okay, so I'm going to get a basic, play Wall of Roots, and then I'm going to Evo the Messenger for Acidic Slime, and then I'm going to take out the tower because I searched that up, and then I'm going to pass and hope that they don't have another tower. But that's the one they searched. I'm almost 99% sure they have another power plant because they played it out instead of the tower after revealing the tower. Okay. Block your 6/6, I think. Maybe not actually. The extra triggers are extra draws. Yeah. Ooh, that could be enough. Yeah, it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. What am I about? That's not enough. Let's work it out. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, tap all my guys' card for 1. It is enough, isn't it? It's easily enough. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get a young wolf. The rules is to never break tower because they always want to go from 7 to 10, so they could fetch tower even if they put it in hand. I'm not sure I quite understand. Give me a sec to kill the opponent and then... Oh, yeah, that only just... Was that even lethal? Because I have to pay a life to do this and they have to take 2. It's probably not even lethal. Oops. I think I just messed that up, but they scooped, so it's okay. I think I could put them to like 2 and I'd be on 1. And then they could like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I could like forest young wolf as a blocker. The rule is to never break tower because they always want to go from 7 to 10, so they could fetch tower even if they have it in hand. Well, that's true. They could fetch tower if they had one in hand, but I see what you mean. So they might have Tron already and go and get a second tower. But in that situation, unless they have exactly 2 power plants, they play the tower first. because it protects Tron if they play the tower first. And that was like a really cheap win. That shouldn't have really been a win. Fetch equals needed, so destroy it. Tends to look after me pretty well as a rule of thumb. But if it's definitely worth me thinking about that if for future reference. But it specifically, yeah, it was the fact that they played the tower first. That's what's really weird about that. Was that because they played the tower, because they played the power plant first, it's because they wanted to hide the tower. They didn't want to open it up for me. And most of the time that's the case. If they had a second tower, they would play the second copy, or, they'd play one of those copies out straight away. It's pretty painful so far, but we should be able to recover from this, I think. Like, play another wall next turn, and then evo a wall and get Finks, and then try to recover from there. It's got to be skewer for them to do that at social speed yet. Okay, so if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. 1, 2, 3, evo, get Finks. This probably isn't good enough in all honesty, but I've got many other options, so let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could card for skews, you then use wall to gain a life, and then use wall in their turn to gain another. Which means no attacks. And because we're tapping it to the card coin, this was free this turn. Right, scavenging news. Go. And if they kill it, it means they're not killing me, so that's good. I want to end step this. I'm sure there was a logic why. I guess it gave them a chance to cast a spell beforehand. But I want them to Skullcrack now if they have it, so that I can Wall of Roots in their upkeep and eat the wall. So the Helix in me, they're ignoring that, letting me gain a life. Well, this is risky actually. If they have exactly 2 3-mana spells, yes, 3 damage spells, I'd die to this. Like in response to the Wall of Roots. In response to the Scavenging Ooze, they could kill me, but yeah, the fact that they cracked Sunbaked Canyon made me think they didn't have that. So now they need like Boris Charm plus Bolt. They don't have it, so then I need a land. 6, 7, 8. So I hit them for 8 and then Thragtusk. I tried Thragtusk. We're still not safe. And this is putting me into double bolt range again. And Skullcrack's a problem. Yep. Yep. Damn. Well, they drew that for turn because they didn't do it in the upkeep, so. Oh. I didn't particularly need to do that. I could have just. I suppose if they drew another ball, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I could have gained a life by trying to kill this, but. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty close. It's pretty unlucky. We have a few things we can use. Last time I removed, like, the black cards, basically. Again, I don't know how correct it is to do this, but these just don't block well. Draw card. Yeah, Proliferate's okay with kitchen finks. No, it's not. What's Proliferate good with? Nothing. Make my scavenger needs bigger. It kind of blocks the same turn as this anyway, though. Plus it's easier to cast. I keep Yawgmoth. Draws me cards when I might need them. I mean, that card was super impressive against Tron and... well, just Tron, actually. But the fact that it could just draw you like 4 or 5 cards just by like looping a few different things was really nice. But we lost to Burn match 1 and I thought it was a bit unlucky. That loss there, was it unlucky? I don't know really. It's kind of how you expect the game to play out. I had choices. I didn't have to sack my Wall of Roots, and I would have cast Thragtusk a bit sooner. So maybe I lost it myself. But we had a pretty decent hand and didn't get there, so that's a little worrying. A little bit worrying. But we're still here. We're still here for now. Okay. Just sending a link on there. Right. Mana Dark's and a way to kill Eidolon. I'll keep it. And I'm keeping it and just hoping that I kind of hope that all these birds just take the bolts and then we just draw out of it from there. So you've got to try and mismatch as many of your cards as possible. And technically that's a disadvantage, but it's more fun and hardly ever comes up. Right. Okay. A beautiful card because we have Wall of Roots. That's kind of grim. Single bolt kills this with the prowess, but I'm going to play a young wolf rather than a birds. I'm going to play birds as well. Like I say, this dies to lightning bolt anyway. If I block, and I am going to block because I don't need it. Like I've boarded out most of my 4-drops as well. I've only got Obstinate Baloth there, so this isn't even a good card to Evo anymore. I just Evo my 1-drops into, like, Evo my birds into kitchen finks. I mean, and the opponent attacks because it's free. Ah, they don't. This isn't looking good for me at all. Maybe this is why I'm not meant to board out the combo. Maybe. Okay. Didn't go for Shockland. So is it fair to say that they might have Shockland stuck in hand and they're flooding out a touch? Like us, who have got a perfectly good hand, not flooded out at all. Tricky this. Riftbolt, I didn't even see them suspend that. Where's it going? To the head, I assume. Yeah. I don't know why they'd care about any of the cards in my hand. And I think they're doing it this way so that they can, like, set it up so that when I block here, they can still send the bolts to my head and this will die. So what I'm going to do is block... Okay. I'm going to block that there, and I'm going to block that there, so they'd have to use a bolt to kill this, and then I get a 2/2 plus the Strangleroot Geist. So, if you want to use a bolt to kill my Wall of Roots, you may. They spend another Riftbolt. We Geist. I think actually just start attacking. Because I don't mind throwing like every single one of these birds into blocks. These are not really here to block now. And actually, no, I'm not going to play Rex Sage. So, I was going to play it just to trade with the Goblin Guide, but actually I kind of want the Goblin Guide to keep attacking because, well, it gives me a bit of info if nothing else, and it'll get me through my bad land draws if there are more of them. So yeah, I do want them just to keep attacking this Goblin Guide. And yeah, getting these birds to... Yeah, there's a Sacred Foundry. I think they might even have another one in hand. I think they flooded out a touch, whilst we have done the same. We reveal Kalani Garden. So we block there, block there. Doesn't feel like this is a race we win, but we're not taking any damage from the creatures. Yeah, they wanted to kill the wall. I can see why, like, probably pretty bored of the wall by this point. If I draw Scavenging Ooze now, it's pretty good that these are dead. But we don't. So we play the token. I've decided it's time to play the Rex Sage because it does discourage them a touch, but also it attacks. They probably start blocking soon. But I still need another 2 turns of attacks before I even get to present lethal. And I just made myself really bad against... what's the card? Eidolon. Well, that's not a good sign. Skewer. Damn. We were not drawing... Oh, we could have drawn out of that, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't feel good against burn, but then, again, I think it's right to keep the mana heavy hands and hope to draw out of it, and we didn't. We've kept land light hands and not drawn lands, so they're kind of problems that I associate with card decks in general, is that if you draw too many of these early, or you keep a hand that's sort of rich in mana, which is kind of the hands that you want, if you start, when you have so many mana sources, it's just so easy to flood out. And then on the flip side, keep like a maybe even 2 lands birds type of hand, but then the bird dies, you're just dead. But again, I still think this is right to keep this hand, because this deck is really anemic without the fast mana, so when you get a hand with the fast mana, you should keep it. And we just so happen to be against Tron again. So, you know, Tron's a matchup where you do need to be quick. And the young wolf isn't going to kill him. We basically just all in on the combo with this type of matchup. And the combo is just pretty hard to assemble. You've got to have 2 of these and 1 of these. So 3-card combo. We have 1 of them. So we are at least 2 draw steps away. You can evo 3 into a acidic slime, so that's an out. And because it's an out, we just play this and then hope that their payoff is Wormcoil and not Khan, or it's Ugin, or it's Ulamog. It's basically something not castable, and then we hope that we rip Evo. I think they searched up Urza's Tower. Reveals power plant, okay. Well, we didn't draw exactly what we need. We're pretty close though. Man, if I'd have played the Waller Roots and the bird last turn, I'd have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. We could have gone 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not quite. They obviously have no real payoff at this point, but what's our best play? It's obviously just the Yawgmoth, isn't it? Because if they have an answer to this, at least we can try and do something. If they don't have an answer, we win next turn. Bit of mana short's a little tough to stomach. Here comes something, I'd assume. It's Khan. Got it. We're just going to try and draw as many cards as we can anyway off this. I don't know how many cards that is, but should be some. It's going to target here, I'm sure. Target this. Sacrifice this. Comes back. Draw a card. Drain you for 2. Why didn't I draw a card? Oh, because the ability fizzled. Okay, so I'm going to sack the birds because I don't need it. Shrink the Gale Messenger. Draw a card. Let that go. Kill the Khan. Play my hand, accept the Yawgmoth, and have lethal again next turn. Trying to work out what they have in hand here is kind of like, it's kind of not that difficult. It seems like it's just going to be Ulamog and a Tronland, which is why we go like this. Oh, it's Ugin, because, well, they would have cast Ugin if they had it last turn. Could be just another Khan who's pretty reasonable, actually. So we do have outs again. You definitely have outs. It's not one of them. Right, so we play this. We attack Khan for 1. We add a green. I'm going to be drawing some cards here, but shrink that, sack this. I want to try and get maybe card. Damn. And then sack birds, because this can tap for card still. 3. Let's not do anything yet. Let's target this with this, bring it back again. Draw a card. So now I just need a Blood Artist, but there's only one in the deck. Play this. Sacrifice. Stranglehold Guys to shrink that. Right, yield that, yield that. Sacrifice a creature, shrink that, sack that, and dine that, bring it back. And then we could actually just run out of life to be able to kill them, but let's just give it a go. Oh, we can't Yawgmoth actually, we can't kill them with Blood Artist actually, because we'll have no... damn. I can't even cast this. We'll have no mana to actually cast Blood Artist. We could card for Blood Artist. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's try and card for Blood Artist. Oh, I did it wrong as well. Oh, great. Okay, well, we stop now because I messed up. Man, that was rough. I really made a mess of that. Well, they have lands. I had like another 7 or 8 draw steps because Blood Artist gains me life every time you use it, so I could go infinite with it. So if this is anything that wipes the board, we just scoop. So that is the equivalent of wiping the board, isn't it? I guess not actually. If they, I guess they spyglass the Yawgmoth, I can acidic slime. So I choose a Snare Bridge, okay. I can beat that because I'm not planning to attack. I'm going to just exile the Factusk. This gains me 4 life. They did it to themselves. Crazy stuff. They want that if they restart the game. I like that they're thinking ahead for that, but I don't think it's very likely. Anyway, let's Yawgmoth. Let's try and do this right. Always yield. Always yield. Right. This gets smaller because I suck this. Always yield. This gets smaller because I suck this. Right. I apologise for me having to talk out what I'm doing here, but I am pretty slow at picking this up. That needs to get smaller, so I need to sack this. Blood Artist is lethal. Did I just mess that up again? Somehow. So, that shrinks when I sack this. Yeah, it's lethal. Yeah, I could have easily misclicked there, but opponent was good to us, so sweet. And then I'm just doing this the same as I did last time, where I just go all in on the combo. I just Clanny Garden. So, okay, well, we played Tron twice and Burn twice, which is a bit of a mild annoyance. Because, yeah, it's just, we don't get to see it against other decks, but I guess it has a chance. It's turn 2 Damping Sphere, into turn 3 turn off your, or slow down your rocks. Basic, I guess, done. So map. And that's why I took to the forest, because the Gulf Messenger needed triple black. So let's hope that this is good enough. At least buys us some time. They might just go get... Well, this will tell us a bit about what's going on in their hand. If they would take a forest here, then they might have had Nature's Claim, or they might have just wanted to use Stirrings and Sylvan Scrying, but as it is, they took Tower, so... I don't know what that means. I'm going to play this just to slow down their rocks again. So, you know, they've played Chromatic Sphere, but then they can't crack it, so just stuff to slow them a touch. Maybe I should have played Wall plus Jungle Root, and then next turn I could have... I know I couldn't do both because of the... No, do not destroy that. Thank you. I couldn't because of this tax effect. Oh, that's annoying. That's why they did it the way they did it. So I guess I could Evo this to blow up this. I think I'm going to have to. It's annoying. All this slowing everyone down is slowing me down a lot. This can't beat. Yeah. It probably can't beat Tron. Acidic Slime's been really good in these matches, specifically against Tron. So, let's crack Star. Don't have Nature's Claim. Leave it in the sideboard somewhere. Sylvan Scrying. For Forest, that makes sense. Man, that's annoying. Anyway, let's get that into play. Let's get swinging. I mean, obviously, Damping Sphere is good for us here, but it's just stopping me going like Wall plus Jungle Root. Dismember that. Okay, that's fine. Like at least 2 turns. Maybe 3 turns away. O-Stone? Damn. We lost both our artifact removal spells. Let's have a peek at the deck. What can we Evo for? I think the answer is nothing. I didn't bring in Rex Age. So it's going to pick off everything that's left. But actually, it's playing Jungle Root guys and slapping them for 5 and then this all coming back when they crack this isn't terrible. If lethal next turn. Actually, in a weird way, I think I might even have lethal through O-Stone here. They're gonna have to O-Stone. Which puts them to 5. The guys come back, but they both have counters, so this isn't lethal. It's kind of tricky. I could Wall plus Evo, but there's just nothing left in the deck. Just play this, shrink this. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, I feel dead, but I could put them pretty low, potentially. I just don't really have to do anything. Just pass with this situation, and then I can sack this, shrink this. They did miss some land drops, so that's all the mana they've got. Ah, man, that's a good amount of things. Well, I don't need to do anything. I don't think. Just pass. Yep. Okay. I can put them... I think they're dead on board, so I can shrink this by sacking this. Actually needed to do this mid-combat for it to work. Everything dies, this comes back, burns them for 2. So yeah, so what they needed to do there was wait till combat, and then when I swung, do that, and then the Gelf would come back and put them to 3, and I could play a second one, put them to 1, and they'd have 2 Gelfs to try and deal with. And if they managed to like Ulamog the 2 away, I could have played the 3rd. So I think we had that, regardless of how they played that last turn. But that was pretty nice. Okay, so how did this all go? Well, we lost to Burn twice when we beat the other 2 decks that we the other 3 decks that we played. One was Jund that got mana screwed. One was Tron that scooped too early, and the other was Tron that we drew pretty well for. So the 3-2 feels about right. Deck actually felt pretty good. I did like it. I liked the way that it could have, for example, birds. Oh, let's say, I know, Wall, Messenger, Thran, and you'd be like, oh, I can sack this, I can float a mana with the Wall, then I can sack it and shrink the Messenger, then I can sack the Messenger, target something else, and like cycle through the deck and just try and find that last missing piece. We saw that in that first game against Tron there, where I misclicked halfway through, but there were ways of winning that game, or outs at least. So I felt pretty good. Changes wise, well, we lost to Burn twice, so potentially you need something for that. I wouldn't know what, really. It felt a bit heavy on 24 lands as well. I kind of feel like this Clanny Garden could go down to 23 lands. But yeah, like, you basically pick your choice for cards for Burn. I mean, you could just go like that, and then, because it, it fits the theme of the deck pretty nicely. It's 2 bodies to sack to this, it's 2 bodies for this, it's life gain, it's grindy, it's just reasonable, and then you could just add whatever you wanted to this sideboard. And it's not as if we've got no tools, but it just didn't line up well against Burn for us. I did feel unlucky in one of them and not so unlucky in the other, so beaten fairly and being a bit unlucky and beaten again, it's kind of like, I don't know whether to take that as a positive or negative, really. But yeah, you could just pick any one of the 1,000 gain life cards in green. Life Goes On is a good one. I think you gain 4 life. If creature died, gain 8. Well, the creatures do die a bit, so you could just run that. Because even at 1 green, counter target Boris Charm, it's not bad. And if you gain 8, it's very good. There's the landfall. I don't know if this actually works, just typing in keywords. Okay, so I've thought of Rest for the Wary, thinking that it was green, but it's not. But there is another green life gain spell that's pretty good. That's 2 mana. I want just the green stuff, please. And it's 2 mana. There's a lot of that on Motto. I can't remember what it's called. Feed the Clan, that's it. You can gain 10 if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Well, that doesn't happen too often. You've only got 5 of them in a good situation, so it's probably not that one. It's probably not Feed the Clan that you want. So yeah, I think Life Goes On would be just fine, or Dragon Claw, or I don't know. There's a whole host of life gain cards. You figure that one out. In terms of budget and whatever else, you can cut these, all these actually, and just add like black green pain lands, but because you need triple green here, double green, double green on 2 and triple black on 3, it is kind of important to try and get lands that tap for both colours. So black green pain lands, black green check lands would work fine. If these are getting pricey for you, or these, you could add more shock lands. But this mana worked pretty well. But I did open double Twilight Mare once, which wasn't fun. But mostly the mana was pretty good. Not a lot of other cuts you can make. I mean, the deck is pretty cheap. These are key, and in paper they have a lot of money, so it's tough. You basically, if you want to play this deck, you buy the Yawgmoth, and if you don't want to play this deck, don't. If you want to play this deck but can't afford Yawgmoths, just don't play the deck. Basically, the sideboard's pretty cheap. Everything's pretty cheap. Like, it's a nicely built. I think this could be Thoughtseize, and this could be Assassin's Trophy if you had a bit more money to go at. But mostly this deck's dirt cheap. And I'd recommend playing it. It's good fun to play. It's got a bit of a toolbox feel to it, but it's also got a grindy feel and a combo feel, and I like that. I like being able to switch gears from like, oh, I'm just a go wide mid-range deck, oh, now I'm a combo deck, now I'm playing slightly on the defensive as a toolbox deck. Could maybe have a few extra tools to help. I mean, we beat Tron twice, but I didn't feel favoured in either of them. So, you know, maybe you can add a few extra tools that don't cost 5, you know, like a Fulminator Mage, for example, that you could card, a bit more reasonable to card a Fulminator Mage at, whereas Evo's for the Acidic Slime. So there's a few different things you could do with it, but mostly the list is pretty good as it is. I think these could be Leyline of the Void pretty comfortably, if you had the money for those. But that's about it. I liked this. I might play it again someday, but just a 3-2. So it's just a shame we played the same deck twice with 2 different decks. So we only actually played 3 matchups, but we got to see what the deck does. We got to see it combo off. You got to see it grind. You got to see it just die. Got to see it use tools to, you know, try and survive against burn. So overall, I thought it was pretty good. Anyway, thanks for watching. Check out our website, Budget Modern Magic. There's some updates coming to that soon as well. And yeah, message me on here, Discord, YouTube, on the website, whatever, if you want me to play a certain deck, and I'll see if I can fit it in somewhere. Right, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.